We're going live, peeps.
Oh, snap. Didn't know this was a live interview.
This is live. This is live. Oh,
Thought this
no.
was for the archives.
Oh, no.
Wait, can we start over? Wait.
Oh, no.
What's up, party people?
What's up, party people? How's everyone doing today on this beautiful, I was going to say Monday, but it's Tuesday because we had Thanksgiving yesterday. And how's your Thanksgiving, boys? Just to ask.
It was
Was
splendid.
Was it delicious?
Went for
Very
a
cool.
beautiful hike in the woods up north
Love
in
it.
Caledon.
Nice. Very cool.
Enjoyed
Well,
the scenery.
I am very honored to be doing this interview because I think it's been quite a journey from when we first had our first conversation to where you guys are at right now. And so it's cool because I ask this question all the time, which is like, if we could press the fast forward button from where you are today to 30 days, 6 days, 9 days out. And I think you guys have accomplished, I would say, accomplished things in the online space that hasn't really been tapped into before. I think you gentlemen were, you are people, you are individuals with a great message. And I think we just gave it focus and a strategy and a direction. And in turn, you guys have created something very inspiring to many people, even into our program. So with that being said, we have two good looking people, Mr. Matt and David. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks, Dana.
Happy to be
Cool.
here.
Thanks for creating the space.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your business and what you do. So Matt, we can start first and then we'll go to Mr. David.
Cool. Well, what do we do? Well,
do you guys do?
David and I are guides at an organization called Xpansive Warrior. It's essentially a men's work organization where we help facilitate transformation, helping guys overcome things like uncertainty in their lives, things like stress and self-doubt, self-sabotage, and step into more of a purpose life. So purpose-driven, like really setting up their life in a way that's intentional, and really pushing the limits of what's possible in terms of a life too.
Yeah.
Something that we haven't been taught in school, but really crafting a life of, a really like our dream life. And we help them achieve that through a combination of different modalities, through working with ancestral practices and bringing in a lot of leadership structures. And
Love that.
Yeah.
I love that. David, anything that you would add to that?
Yeah, I think Matt hit it on the side with like a life of design.
Mhm.
That's really where we lean into is creating intentionality and clarity. And I'd like to see it as like a game board. It's like, if we're going to play a game, we need to know the pieces. We need to know the track we're running on. We need to know how to play the game, and then we can play that game effectively. And for me, it's like the game of life. If we know what the players are, if we know where the goal is, we know what the intention is, then we can actually start playing the game. Often we see a lot of men, it's like we're in a game that we don't want to play, or we're in a game that we don't even know that's happening around us, versus like, okay, I'm going to design the game called my life and actually go out and create it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what I lean into. And then I love creating. It's like, okay, let's create some focus, let's create some intentionality, let's create some outcomes, let's create some actual outcomes in each area of our life that we can start playing towards. Because once we know the rules of the game and the game we're playing, then we can start measuring where we're getting in our own way and actually lean into those new ways of being over that course of the 90 days in our program.
Love that. And as everyone can tell right now, these are two very intelligent men, well-spoken men. And so this kind of leads to my next question, which is the question of, prior to joining the program and working with me, because we've done consistent calls over the last couple, I would say, months. What do you feel has been one of the biggest problems, or like what problem were you guys facing prior to actually joining the program and actually even bringing on, I guess you consider me like a marketing coach. So you know what, we'll go to David and then we'll go to Matt. So what do you feel like, what was one of the biggest problems that you were facing, David, prior to joining the program?
Yeah, and I would say like we see this a lot as well too. It's like for us, it's like having a strategy with marketing. Like we're very good at what we do inside of like guiding men and guiding people through our programs and program creation, but we're not marketers. So we understand in the space, you've got to be both. So to be able to bring you on and you knowing that whole track to run on and the marketing game was a huge asset for us to be able to take that on. So it's like we had bits and pieces of like what we could do and YouTube videos and blah, 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 and just throwing all of the mud at the wall and seeing what sticks versus like sitting down with you and being like, okay, we're crystal clear on what we're taking on every day, what works, what doesn't work, and just going deep on one strategy to be able to grow our community and ultimately have more conversations with men that are aligned with what we're doing and being able to invite them into our program. So I think that's the biggest thing, is like having that clarity on what we were doing.
No, you guys are perfect examples of, really, we haven't spent $1 on advertising yet. And we built a Facebook community. It's at about 170 people so far, roughly around there.
180 something today.
Nice. So you guys are a perfect example of not complicating the whole journey and just following step by step and attaining the result, whether they were referrals, whether they were people that were following you in advance. I think what we've implemented has kind of pushed people over the line and given you guys that vehicle. So I want to ask you, David, the next question. What I'll do is I'll kind of go back and forth unless it's like a meaty question. But from your perspective, Matt, why did you choose this program over other programs? Because you were the one that kind of reached out to me, or we kind of had a conversation at the beginning. And I know you were looking around. What did you see within what I was offering over? Because I'm guessing you were doing your research as well with other opportunities to help you with this.
Yeah, just building off, I mean, what David was sharing is we had been trying to figure out the marketing game for so long, but we were just spinning our wheels. We're like, wow, we'll figure it out. It can't be that hard. And I always had this frustration that everybody claims to be a successful online marketer, yet everybody I talk to, nobody knows what the hell they're doing. At least it seems that way. Nobody could actually show the results. So I think the biggest thing for me is I got my attention was caught by somebody else in my network that put me on to this idea of building a Facebook community and centralizing all our traffic to one place where we can nurture people. And through that's when I got in touch with you, and you reached out to me and you're like, hey, I'm just giving free value right now. Let's get on a call. And I was like, hey, I could probably learn a couple things from just getting on a call with this guy. So after being on a call with you, I think it was a couple things. One, you were showing so much transparency behind the scenes of what you had been doing for your own business. I was like, okay, this built a lot of trust and a lot of credibility for me, where you're like, look, I just booked this call. Look at my calendar. Look how many people are joining my group, like in real time, I was seeing that happen. So that was definitely one thing that built a lot of trust, was you showing us the actual results in real time. And then I think it was definitely your energy and your enthusiasm and the willingness to work directly with us.
Yeah.
And you standing by the results that you promised. You're like, listen, I know I can help you guys, and we're going to get it done no matter how long it takes.
Yeah.
And for me, that gave me a lot of peace of mind. It was like, we don't have anything to lose, but to work with Daniel. He's saying, he can get us where we want to get to. So I think those were the two biggest things, but just the vibe, like the energy that we had, the synergy with you.
Yeah.
And the willingness you had for really taking our goals on as though they're your own. And I find that that's really rare in the coaching space.
Yeah, I love that. David, is there any words that you want to add to that? Because I know you guys, I wouldn't say you guys were, not that you guys were easy crack to nut. I think you guys were a harder crack to nut, which is like, I feel like as you gain more experience in the online space, it's like trusting people of like, kind of like, is this guy actually legit? Are we just going to waste our time and money? And so what kind of tipped you over the edge? Just to kind of like even show everyone in the group.
Yeah, for me, it's similar to Matthew as well too. And it's like, for me, anytime bringing on a coach or a guide in my world, it's like that commitment and the trust. Like you've actually taken on all of your practices that you're saying. You're not just like regurgitating a bunch of stuff that you saw online to like teach to someone else. It's like, no, here's my back end, here's my business, here's everything I'm doing. And just that full transparency, to echo what Matthew was saying, that's huge for me. And the commitment. I know for us too, it's like just being 100% committed to our clients is super important. And like I said, Matthew said that as well too. It's kind of rare to see that, to really be with people every step of the way and celebrate their wins and take their wins on or their challenges as our own. And that was a big reason for me as well too.
Yeah,
it's like we're in this as a team. All right, it's like all three of us are now Xpansive Warrior for the next 90 days.
I love it.
And that's how we take on our clients' businesses and what they're creating too. It's like we're on your team, we're the board of directors, and like how are we going to win this game together?
Yeah, well, definitely some things that you guys have learned even from even the program and the way that I offer things. I think you guys, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, like the fact of enrolling, I would say, clients at the highest rate you guys have enrolled in the past, right? And so that's a big deal of not just bringing in clients, but increasing the rates and getting people to say yes to that. Was there anything specific? And I want to tailor this to the coaches who are listening, because I think you guys are very inspiring of what's possible. Was there anything in particular about the program that really helped you? Was there anything specific that was like, this was the game changer? This was the one thing that really moved the needle for us? Matt, if you want to go first.
I think a major pivotal moment, and I'm sure David would agree with this, is that one call where we started to divide and conquer. You know, like we've been running this business together for, 3+ years. And it was like, in a lot of ways, we were both trying to do everything. Or like the same tasks being split down the middle versus like, okay, here's your area, you focus on these accountabilities and you focus on these. And the moment we got clear on that and we divided that up, that's when like the acceleration, the pedal hit the floor and things really started to move. So yeah, I would say that was probably the major pivotal moment in this journey.
It's these very basic things that sound simple, but actually applying it is a whole different story.
Yeah, I'd say the simplest thing is like just creating those simple measurements where it's like numbers, like getting the numbers up. How many people are in our group? How many conversations are we having? And how many calls are we booking? And just making it that simple. Yeah. Obviously, the back end of that is like, okay, we've divided and conquered. Like Matthew reaches out, I do the front end content. And that's the buzzing that we have, that there's two of us. And obviously with your clients down the road, that may be a VA or someone else dividing and conquering, but we have the luxury of doing it now in real time, which is great, but it's having the clarity of what we're actually dividing and conquering. So we have a front end. Okay, let's get the message out. Back end, let's start inviting people and curating those conversations, and then being able to guide them through together as well too, inside of like actually enrolling them in a program.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, let's talk about some wins, because you guys are in a interesting niche, and I think you guys are really gonna blow up in this niche because the personalities and the genuine personality and the commitment, very similar to what you guys were saying. What were some big outcomes? And so this can inspire other coaches of what's possible, because prior you guys were charging your program at what, maybe $500, $1,000, up to $2,000. And so give me some outcomes. I know talking about numbers is like, not the easiest thing, but I think it inspires others. So what were some like big outcomes and wins from your end? Matt, sorry with you, sir.
I mean, just as a stepping stone, I think the biggest wins that started to build after that pivotal moment that I just described was booking like 2 calls in a day, because I was booking calls, and it was like we were working in our own warm market before, right? And it was like our close friends and extended friends, and maybe we'd book a call a week or like an unintentional call to catch up, but like, was it a sales call? But we went right. We really were able to nail down the intentionality with those calls and how to flow people through warming them up to jumping on a very intentional call. And the moment that I was able to book, like 2 calls in a day, which has been the target, was a huge win. It was like, oh shit, like this process works. We just did 2. And then having, a day where I booked 3 in a day. And it was like, okay, like if we can just keep up these numbers, it's just a matter of statistics that we're going to start closing clients from there. But I think that was that was one of the big wins, was number of calls booked. And then obviously from there, when we started to close clients, like September, we had a huge, our biggest month to date, where we closed how many people? Four or five?
Yeah.
5 people.
Yeah. And what was the number roughly that month in September?
Yeah, I think the number was about 20, low 20s US, so almost 30 Canadian.
Craziness. And that's a big deal. That's a record month within your own personal business. And from you, David, it's like Matt has a flow of booking calls. And how is it being on the sales end and having more of an intentional call? How is that for you?
Yeah, it's good to have that like tee up, or it's like, okay, we actually know why we're getting on this call. It's not let me tell you a little bit about our programs and who we are and what we do. So there's a lot more clarity and a lot more flow inside of that call. And there's an actual expectation of like, okay, I'm going to share this program with you. They know what it is to invest inside of our programs. So it's a lot simpler conversation to have as far as like this sales process.
Yeah. Because you brought your price up to 4,000 or 5,000, and then you even had an $8,000 US sale, which is almost 10,000 Canadian. Like that's a huge deal. And what was I going to say? What do you feel like was the thing that was pushing them over the line? Was it the discovery call with Matt, or booking the call, or was it the weekly council calls that you guys do? Like, what do you think was the difference now, where people are jumping on these calls from you, David, where they're warmer, they're ready to make the investment? It's not just a catch-up call, but really it's like a decision call, or let's move forward call, or let's take this thing serious call.
Who do you want to answer?
Yeah.
Who do you want to answer? You want me to answer?
Matt, answer it.
Okay, cool. Well, a couple things. I mean, definitely the digging in the DMs, like really digging into their intention and being there, which that helps. That as a part of the group, we've got pre-qualifying questions as they enter the group, right? So there's a conversation starter to dig into what are some of their challenges. I find building that rapport in the DMs, I've seen that be very, very powerful. Because then by the time they get on the call, like I'm pretty clear on what their challenges are, where they want to get to, and then I can hand that off to David and just like update him on where they're at in the conversation, and then he can pick up where I left off in the DMs on the actual sales call. And the introduction of a pre-qualifying questionnaire too has really helped, because I think it both sets the intention for them to actually reflect on like, okay, why am I jumping on this call? What am I looking to get at? What are my biggest challenges? They have to think about those things before they even get on a call. And then it also lets us know, are these guys actually, do they have a problem big enough that we can help them solve? And are they in a position where they're ready to take an action to invest in themselves? Because we've redirected people to some of our other offerings if they aren't ready to invest in themselves as well, right?
Yeah, I love it, Mr. David.
Yeah, that's made a big difference too. I feel like we have, I think you alluded on it, we have like our weekly fireside sit down, like our weekly open call for the community, which is great. So any man that wants to jump in and get a taste of like how our programs would work, basically to have a free test drive on those Wednesdays. So even if they're jumping on a call, or if Matthew's doing a call and just kind of warming them up and feeling them out, there's always an offering that we have. So they're in the pipeline, essentially. It's like they can always have access to us at some point during the week in a group setting, where it's like they can feel the coaching out, feel the guiding out, feel us out as guides, and then help warm up a decision, whether it's now or later. It's great to have that ability to do that. So free workshops, free conversations that we consistently host to grow the group and grow the connection with that group as well too has been really powerful. Yeah,
you guys have great engagement, definitely better than me. And but one of the things that I've seen with you guys is it's like there's that, I think you said, David, where it's like that weekly call kind of nurtures them and gives them a free test drive. I think you guys have excelled at it at a very high level, very early. And so I think what I've realized with you two is just having more of a structure and guiding people down this path of like, basically they join the Facebook group, they get nurtured, and then they slowly get into the whole culture. I think that's to me, like, unless you guys want to add anything, I think that's the biggest difference from before, is now you guys have more of a structure of what happens. Because before, you guys were using, was it WhatsApp? Was it Instagram? Or, I mean, you guys are still using Instagram, but like, we're using different platforms before than the Facebook group.
Yeah, we were hosting our community in Telegram. And yeah, it was kind of a one-way thing though, right? It was like us to them. It was a channel. So it wasn't so much of a place to engage and commune. But we were still doing those fireside sit downs. But now centralizing it, having all those recordings just stay in there, for guys to go back, and if they just want to get their toes wet before actually jumping into a conversation, which for some people might be intimidating, they can watch and observe and see the kind of environment that we create and be like, okay, this is like a super safe space. It's super not intimidating. And maybe when they're ready, they'll jump into a live one. Right.
I love that. Yeah. It's something that I do similarly with my coaching calls. David, were you say something?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my next question, I got two more questions, and this is the classic question of, where do you think you guys would be right now if you didn't take action and actually move forward with a program like this? We'll start with you, Matt.
Who knows? Probably still pulling a few hairs that I have left out of my hair. Like I said, I was super frustrated by the time, like when I was looking for something, and when I reached out and started chatting with you, Daniel. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was sick and tired of us spinning our wheels. I was like, enough's enough. Yeah. And at first, I mean, David will tell you, he's like, well, you know, like he was jaded just like I was about marketing people. And he's like, well, you know, like, how do we know this guy's going to help us? He's not just another person, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, no, man.
He's different.
He's different. And like, how
many thousands are we putting in ads the first day?
Yeah, exactly. Right. But I was like, I'm different. I'm at a place now where I'm like, enough's enough. Like, we have to do something different. Yeah. And so I don't know if I never got to that point, we would be still stumbling along, you know, half-assed, working on this as like some side thing, and not really treating it like a business, and not really making the impact and the contribution that we want to be making, because that's what lights us up. And by being able to serve a larger community and being able to serve more clients now, more committed clients, like, we're happier, we're more fulfilled, we're more excited about life because we get to do what we get to do. So
I love that. David, any words from you?
Yeah, I align with all of that. We just would have been, you know, on the hamster wheel and frustrated and just uncertain, and probably still charging less because we have less of a pool of people to talk to. It's like we probably still beat the $1,000 mark, and then over giving inside of our contribution for what we know that we can provide, and experiencing frustration and not having that same I would say excitement and clarity and urgency and energy to put into the business. Yeah, because I find when we're not clear, it's like, okay, we're just like, we'll kind of do what we want when we can, even inside of the loose structure that we had before. Now it's just crystal clear, and we've seen the results. So we were able to come out, like, we knew we had a great product, we knew we had great programs, we knew we had the skill set to guide someone to where they need to go. But now it's having a clear plan on how to actually talk to them and provide that invitation to them.
Yeah, that's huge. Like, even what Matt said, which is like, before it was almost like I wouldn't say a part-time thing, but now it's more of like, you see how big this thing can grow. And now that you have structure, it's becoming more of I don't want to call it more real, but it's more full-time. It's taking more of your energy in a good way, not in a negative way. Yeah. Very cool. Okay, cool. So, and then my last question is, for anyone that's watching this and that's on the fence, and after working with this Italian man over here, is there any words that you guys would give to the ones that are thinking about it, or the ones who are considering booking a call, any words that you would give to these fine people about this guy right here? Mr. Matthew, go ahead.
I mean, you can hear it right from our experience. It's like, you can do it yourself. You can try and figure it out, and you can struggle and be frustrated and spin your wheels. And, it might take you 3, 4, 5 years to figure it out. But I would say get in and get the fast track, invest in yourself, get the support, get the guidance, get somebody at your back who's going to push you in the right direction, and you'll get there way quicker. and the ROI is just a no-brainer.
Yeah. Love it. David.
Yeah, 100%. It's like just finding a coach and a guide, and in this niche, and it's the two things. It's like I know there's great coaches out there who aren't great marketers. So to be able to work with you, and you do both. So it's like, okay, cool. We'll find someone that's done both and has a proven track record to get that result done. And like Matthew said, it's like a cheat code. It's like, okay, I'm just going to take this template and put it into my business and get the result. So we did that very quickly, and yeah, super grateful for that. And I would suggest anyone that's watching this is 100% get on a call with you and see if that's the fit. If they can take that template and proven system and put it into their practice, then game on. It's like otherwise you're just spinning your wheels, wasting time and money and energy and emotional bandwidth where they can just jump on and get that clarity with you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much. I know getting the recognition that you guys are giving me right now is not easy to get, especially from two people like yourselves. That's something that you probably just give away to just anyone. So I really appreciate that. I'm grateful for you guys, and I'm excited to keep on growing your business and getting you guys to the next level. So thank you very much. And guys, if you have any questions, if you want to join these guys' group, we can probably tag it down below. You can definitely jump in, because I know there's probably a good chunk of men within this community that are probably looking for help with tapping into the improved version of themselves that's capable within them, that just needs to be tapped into. So Matt, if you want to just type in your group down in the comment section below. And boys, appreciate you guys.
Yeah, appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate
Thanks
you,
for
man.
creating the time, man.
Okay, guys, take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers.